Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's talk about legal marketing, misconceptions, and what it is. What does it mean to you? And is it the same as normal marketing for everybody else? I've been in the marketing industry for many, many years. And the reason that I started to help lawyers, I had friends who were lawyers and they were telling me the pains that they had. And I basically just took an old blog and turned it into a whole platform. But I've learned a lot along the way. And one of the things here's the thing, I want to give you a little story. I was talking to, I think a few years ago when we first came on the scene. And I was, trying to get more lawyers to join our platform. And I was speaking to a law firm in Florida, and it was the wife, I think, of the lawyer, and I was speaking to the two of them actually at one point. It doesn't matter anyway. I asked them what they were doing for their legal marketing, and they says, "Well, John, we do legal marketing all the time." I said, "Oh, fantastic! What do you do?" Now they have a website. That's fine. Yeah, they've got a website. They told us they had a website online. But when I asked them what do you do for legal marketing, this is what they told me. We go out to lunches, we network, we get referrals from other lawyers, and pretty much that's what, and word of mouth, and that's what we do. But we're always out meeting people, and we are always, we're talking to other lawyers, and they hire us when they need us, or we go to networking events. Or of course, we do a lot of luncheons and things, and we support the community in that way. And I says, well, that's just a tiny little. That's not actually legal marketing. That's networking. It really isn't legal marketing. And so what I realized very quickly in the legal industry is that there's not many lawyers. Young millennials are starting to understand it, but there's not many lawyers that have been out there for a long time that really understand legal marketing. Now, legal marketing is, why have we called it legal marketing? Because the concepts of marketing are the same as any other business. Whether you're in an HVAC business, a medical business, the concepts are the same. Where it maybe differs is because it's dealing with law. In legal marketing and social media, you've got to be very careful what you say. You've got to be very careful what you do. You've got to be very careful how your business comes across. So legal marketing in terms of the law industry takes on a kind of a new life, because it's more to do with reputation. It's more to do with PR and all the legal aspects of all those things, and how you are being found online, how you're interacting with potential clients, your client acquisition. There's many different aspects to legal marketing, and it is not just about having a website. So many lawyers think that I've got a website, so I'm doing legal marketing, or I'm putting a blog out, so I'm doing legal marketing, or I go to a lunch meeting and I meet other lawyers and I get referrals. These are all small things that actually are, they are a part of maybe a small cog that turns a bigger wheel. Many cogs are needed to turn that wheel, okay? So there's many different aspects to legal marketing, and those misconceptions that we have about it tend to be the older lawyers, not so much the young millennials that are coming through that are understanding social media, but they think that it's just all about just a website and it's just about networking with people, and that's not actually true. Your website is definitely not enough, okay? If you think about it, how many law practices are there in America? I don't know the statistics at the moment, but I can bet you it's very top heavy. We know that the legal industry is absolutely saturated. Okay, and the other thing that you actually have to deal with is your reputation and how you come across to potential clients, because the legal industry doesn't have a good reputation as such now, because anybody who looks at lawyers, they just think money. Anybody who looks at lawyers thinks, $300 an hour, $200 an hour. I found that there's not much respect for the legal industry because of the facade that is out there, the branding or the recognition or just the message that is sent out to the layperson who doesn't understand law. So for me, legal marketing is about trying to reach out to those people that don't understand the ins and outs of laws, regulations, and everything else, and being able to emotionally connect with them on a level that allows you to gain trust and allows them to be able to move forward in becoming your client and you acquiring them as a client. But it's not just about your website. Yes, you have to have great website design. It's a fact. You have to be on social media. It's a fact. But you have to be on so much more. You have to be in video. So legal marketing is about all of those aspects rolled into one. Your PR, your how you're reaching out to people, how your content is being found online, how people can interact with you. Now, I mean, we can go through this in other videos, but obviously we wrote an article a long time ago on Help Lawyer about social media, because it's different for lawyers. Lawyers have to be very careful on how they are seen online, and obviously how social media is so dangerous yet so brilliant that one lawyer could go out there and put something up, not thinking it was very innocuous, and all of a sudden you have a law case on your hands because it's gone elsewhere and elsewhere. We've seen it in many different cases, and many examples online. So legal marketing is much, much more than what you think. It's not just about being on directories. There's loads of directories out there, and I don't like to think of our, Help Lawyer as just being a directory. I think of it as being a suite of tools that can actually help lawyers to get their message out there, that can actually help lawyers to get their content seen. And we have law firm SEO companies that actually utilize this. I'm not in competition with anybody else, because anybody can build a directory, anybody can build a website. That's not what goes into it. It's the knowledge, the wisdom, and the dedication that goes behind it. And that's what I think Legably and we had in common, and that's why we're working together. So you have to think of your business and your law practice like a child, and you have to nurture that child and bring it through, and you have to understand the weaknesses and the strengths, and you have to be able to build bridges, and those bridges have to be able to go out to allow people to cross those bridges to come to you because they trust you. And that's what legal marketing for me is about. You can read as much as you want online about what it is, read as many books as it is, but for me, legal marketing is building that brand recognition along with trust, empathy, and basically building long-term relationships with your client based on trust and empathy. And that starts with your website and your content and you being found and you being approachable in many, many different verticals or many different areas such as video, imagery, all sorts of things. Yes, you have to have a professional outlook, or you have to have a professional image, if you like. But where's the balance? Okay, where's the balance between the professionalism and being approachable? Because if you actually put out a survey, probably a lot of people won't trust lawyers, and they don't see them as approachable. I've asked, because they just see it as just money, and it's just going to cost money, and there's so not much red tape to go through, and there's so many problems with it. So legal marketing is really about nurturing a child through to adulthood. That's what I would like to say it's about. It's about nurturing your child through to adulthood and building relationships, being on a journey, building your relationships, understanding your clients, acquiring clients in the right way, and not just looking at something like just SEO and keywords and keyword research. And there's a lot more to it, and that's where people get the wrong idea, or lawyers get the wrong idea. And a lot of law firms think they'll just put posts out, or they'll just put a blog out, and that should be enough to acquire clients. It's not. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and that's what you need to understand. You're in it for the long haul, and there's many different avenues that you can take, and that's one of the things that you need to consider. So legal marketing, though, yes, we have PR, reputation management, everything else that's involved in it. Content marketing is an aspect of it. There is so much more that goes into legal marketing, and the misconceptions are it is not about just going out there and networking. It's not about going to lunch and getting a client. It's about so much more. And remember, the website is just the first stepping stone. And that's something we can talk about later. Your website is just only the stepping stone. So think about legal marketing as taking your child from birth to adulthood, and that's your journey that you're on. God bless.